All right. Well, hopefully someone will get back to see the finish of this live stream. I find it fascinating. That people have nothing better to do than stuff like that. I mean, seriously, are you such an incredible loser that is how you spend your day? Amazing to me. Of course, there's people out there that, take advantage of old women and steal their money. And it's just it's a crazy world we live in, that's for sure. Full of a lot of rotten people. But there you go. So now we're back, and hopefully bot attack free. Yeah, welcome to the internet. So do you guys stay moderators, or are you just moderators for that stream? See, I have like no clue on how this stuff works. It's kind of exciting, sort of like Terminator there, it's like the end of the world for a minute.
I can't see the drawing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Well, so you guys are responsible moderators, whatever that means now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in and add like new links and stuff in this once I'm done drawing this. There's got to be some way to be preemptive and prevent that stuff from happening before it actually happens. Well, that takes the air out of a stream, doesn't it? It was exciting, though, for a minute. You can set your chat to be subscriber-only chat and set how long they have to be subbed. Well, I don't have... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but if you do that, then that keeps new people from coming in, right? So...
Hey, have any of your fans did their homework?
What was the homework?
Watching Murder Mystery. Remember?
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now that Samantha required homework to watch Murder Mystery and then come back and report on whether or not you guys thought it was any good or not. So my guess is probably not a lot of people did.
Fake fans. Running out of yarn.
AJ Tom says, sorry, Sam, I watched for a few dollars more last night instead.
Knife in the chest right there. Did I tell you that someone at work called me Samantha and I got really pissed?
Someone called you Samantha at work and you got pissed?
Yeah.
That's what I call you.
I know. You and Nana and Josh are the only people who call me that.
And you refuse to accept that from anybody else. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. Well, okay. If I'm at work, this person barely knows me because they're just a coworker, and my name tag clearly says Sammy. All my paperwork clearly says Sammy. And then I did something wrong, and she goes, Samantha. And I was like, oh, no. None of that.
You don't get to call me that.
Nope. Like, I actually got so heated.
Did you throw hands?
I wanted to, but this chick could probably get me fired, so.
Was this at Crumble or the other place?
Bath and Body Works.
Mm.
No, at Crumble, I get treated nicely there. I mean, not that I don't get treated nicely at Bath and Body Works, but I just don't like this chick.
I tell you, no respect.
Nope.
You watched Krampus. I watched that the other, well, I was going to say the other night, but it was like the other year. It's a couple years ago, but, I got to be honest with you. I was a little disappointed when they actually revealed the Krampus, especially because I thought it was, wasn't it Legacy that did the special effects for that? And I just thought the, could have been scarier.
What did it look like?
It looked like a really kind of old, ugly Santa Claus. And I thought it would be more monstrous than that.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Was it scarier than the Once Upon a Time Frankenstein?
Yeah, just a smidge. I mean, it looked cool and everything, but it just wasn't as scary as I thought it might be.
Sean was telling me the other day, he was like, Sammy, I really want to see you watch a horror movie just to, like, see your reaction. And I was like, do you actually, like, that's not going to be a good idea, right? He was like, yeah, probably not. There's one horror movie I actually kind of want to watch, but I know I'm going to hate it because it's a horror movie. So.
Yeah, what's that?
It's like Midsummer or something like that. It's with Florence Pugh.
With who?
Florence Pugh.
Lawrence Pugh?
Florence Pugh.
Florence Le Pugh.
Yes.
I've never heard of.
She was the chick who played Black Widow's sister.
Oh, okay.
And she's a really good actress, so I want to watch her in this. But I know I'm going to get freaked out.
And what's the name of the movie?
I think it's like Midsummer or something. It's like her and her boyfriend go to some like festival in the Netherlands, and then they get like trapped there. And it's like a spring festival, and there's like flowers and crap everywhere.
But it's not what it appears to be.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that movie?
Is it scary, or is it just like uncomfy?
Scary or just uncomfortable.
I also want to watch Little Women because she's.
It's Midsummer's in Sweden.
Oh.
There you go.
Just kidding.
Now you really don't want to watch it, right? You don't want to ruin Sweden for you.
Switzerland,
Sweden, whatever. They're all the same.
Yeah, she's also in Little Women, so I kind of want to watch that too, but I don't even know where I can watch it.
Did you see Black Widow?
Yes. For Sean's birthday. We went to the drive-in.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Because that movie actually came out on his birthday. Got text. Did you end up seeing it?
Yeah, I went with Josh and Infinity Zach.
What did you think of it?
Oh, that was okay.
Oh yeah, weren't you the one that was whining that there was like no dude characters in it?
Well, I wasn't whining that there was no dude characters. I was suggesting that the way they handled the dude characters wasn't very good. And the villain reveal was really dumb. the secret identity of the task master.
Why was it done?
Well, because spoiler alert. Because the task, I have a hard time saying that. The task master was fighting the Red Guardian. And the Red Guardian is supposed to be like, super powerful, can lift up a train, which they showed him doing. And then the task master is just this woman who has not been enhanced with physical prowess, and she's kicking his butt. But then Black Widow kicks her butt. So, and Black Widow doesn't have superpowers. So how is it that she kicks this guy's butt who has superpowers, but then gets her butt kicked by someone who has no powers?
The Black Widow is Black Widow. She doesn't need.
Well, she knows how to fight, but doesn't have superpowers. And the Red Guardian is like, guy can lift a train. So it's hard for me to believe that the task master would have been able to even put up a fight. So I thought that was a little lame. A little bit on the lame side.
Okay, yeah, I was kind of hoping for like a fight scene with that dude, but then he didn't actually get one.
Bill Maxwell, watch the trailer. Very nice. That reminds me. Hey, we got 19 people back. Let's do it again. I paid good money for this. Let's get our most out of it, shall we? Yeah, how about that, huh? Bet you never saw that before.
I have.
Yeah. Humphrey Bear joined us, dropped in the house along with Bill Maxwell. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. Glitch is back. It's a great festival. You put a ring of flowers on your head, go into the countryside, and dance around a giant phallic symbol while singing about being a frog without a tail. True story.
Oh, Midsummer?
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that. Wait.
I watched Mannequin recently.
Oh, that.
Had to introduce my son to Kim Cattrall. Well, she's very good looking in this movie, but boy, that's a dumb movie. I remember seeing it in film school. We went and saw that, and we were kind of like, oh, it's kind of a cute little romantic comedy. But then I watched some scenes from it on YouTube recently, and I was like, wow, what was I thinking? But it was definitely an 80s movie.
You know what movie I want to watch?
Which?
Llamageddon.
So we're watching Santa Jaws, and there's like trailers for these other really horrible, dare I say, homemade movies. And one of them was Llamageddon.
I also want to watch Killer Couch.
I got a feeling Killer Couch.
Yeah.
I got a feeling someone in this chat has watched Llamageddon. Has anyone seen Llamageddon?
Oh, and then there's also the oh my gosh, what is it called? Velocipaster.
Someone actually recommended that to me. You should watch Velocipaster, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch that.
Why not?
Because I have better things to do than waste my time watching a horrible film.
I kind of want to watch Velocipaster. Just to say that I've seen it,
Well, you can only watch something like that if you have like a group of people, so you can kind of like laugh together. If you're sitting there by yourself, you just be going, why am I wasting my time?
That's true. I could do a viewing party at GCO.
There you go.
watch the
Velocipaster.
double feature, Velocipaster and Lamageddon.
So in case you're interested, I'm now using little blue in here to do like the, whereas a normal person you'd use red to have rosy cheeks. I'm using blue here for her.
Because she's green.
That's right. Makes perfect sense.
You still need to see Luca. By the way.
It does not appeal to me at all.
Why not?
Teen boys discovering their mermaidness is not
They're not discovering that they're
anything.
mermaids. They already are.
Whatever.
Oh, I ran out of yarn. Aww. Look at that.
See, that's like all the yarn of that color,
Yeah.
and it's gone. She's over here knitting. My 19-year-old daughter's turning into a grandmother.
I already dressed like one.
Oh, I tell you.
Because Kara wanted a top in that color, so I used like over half of it on that. And then this one I didn't think was going to take a lot of yarn, but I guess it did.
So you can kind of see what's taking place there.
So we might need to go to Michael's.
House is a great Japanese horror movie from 1977. I remember that had William Catt in it. The Greatest American Hero was in that movie, I believe. Jeff Stout, do I have any crazy, funny Comic-Con stories? Of course I do. Are you kidding me? Christopher Blaylock Fine Arts is here. Thanks for joining. Well, okay, here's a good one. This is one of my favorites since Dale Keown has sort of become a prominent feature in the indie market recently with his working with Ethan Van Sciver. So I'm sitting there, and this is like early 90s, during the period of time when Image was just, they were doing their ash cans and stuff. They were just launching, right? We're getting ready to. And they're at San Diego, and they had their own presence, right? Their own area. And so I'm sitting there at my table, and I'm just breaking in at this point, right? But I'm a young, in-shape guy with hair, feeling pretty good about myself. The world's my oyster kind of thing. And this is back in the day when there wasn't a ton of, there was like very few cosplayers, and there wasn't all these, girls that wanted to be models or attempting to be discovered as, in film or whatever. So you didn't have like these just, plethora of hot cosplayers or women at the shows, period. So as I'm sitting there, I had a couple people at my table, right? Getting some stuff signed. And behind them, about two or three people back, is this beautiful girl, right? At that point in time, it was like the best looking girl I'd ever seen at a Comic-Con, right? She's standing in my line, right? I'm like, yeah, all righty, yeah. So she, I was single at this time, by the way. And so, I've got my eye on her as she's slowly approaching, getting up closer to the table. And I'm, thinking about all the lines I might use or, whatever to, and she finally gets up to the table, and she's like, hi. And I'm like, hey, how are you? And she goes, oh, I'm great. She said, can you tell me where Dale Keown's sitting? And I was like, I said, yeah, he's down there around the corner. And then she left, and that was pretty much it. So she waited in line for like 5 minutes just to ask me where Dale Keown was sitting. And here I thought I was being a player, but no. Tragic story, but that's one of my funny favorite ones. Yes, agree. AJ Tom says, when you draw sketches for Sam, does she give you instructions on how to do it while drawing? She looks over my shoulder all the time and goes, that doesn't look right. You should change that. I'm like, it's, and then I look at her and just go, it's not done yet. It's like, yeah, she drives me nuts. And see, I don't criticize her work unless she asks me to, but she feels very, very free to come up and rip on my work. She's very good, but she's very different than me. She has more of a fine arts vibe, to what she does, which I do not at all. I'm not a big fine arts guy at all, but she. I'm sorry, the greens here are not showing well. They come out as gray, but this is like green with blue. It's actually a nice little attractive color scheme. I do want to remind you guys that as far as I can tell at this point, K Manifesto keeps dropping the link in the in the comments section, which I appreciate, since it's no longer in the description of this video because we had to shut it down because of a bot attack. But it appears we're going to go and do Ethan's stream tomorrow night and launch Wraith of God. And if that ends up holding true, then this is your last chance, your last 24 hours to get signed up early to get the Wraith trading card. And if you haven't seen it, let's take a quick moment here and take a look at the card. That's what you'd be getting if you sign up early, then order the book. And I think it's important to note that this book, or pardon me, this card is original art prepared for the card. I didn't lift it off something else that I'd already drawn. I drew something specific for this card. So the only way you're going to get this art or see this art is by getting the card. So, and the only way you get that card is to sign up early. So please take advantage of that while you still can. Oops. Highlight the CAD yellow with pop green to pop the green, maybe. That's not a bad suggestion. I try to stay away from yellow because yellow tends to make people look jaundiced. But the green really does pop on this. You just can't see it. This looks gray to you guys, but it's actually very green. It looks very nice in the finished piece. So I will have to actually scan this and post it for you guys to get a real true sense of the color of this piece. I don't know what the heck is wrong with my settings on my camera that I can't get clear, sharp colors and imagery for some reason. Everything seems to be, and I've got it on high def too, which really is irritating. Jeff Stout says, that medallion would make a killer goal. It would, but I'm not sure. And I haven't looked into it yet, but producing something like that might be a little bit more expensive. I was really surprised to find out how expensive doing just the playing card, the Ace of Spades playing card was. So I actually had to move that up in the stretch goals because it's so expensive. But I still think it would be really cool. And of course, Graham is doing that, that bullet thing, which I thought was kind of cool. He's not doing it as a stretch goal, but for Alien Alamo, but he's making it available for people, like bullet keychain. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, there's a million things you can do, in terms of stretch goals and other things to help promote. But I was advised, and I think it's probably good advice, that sort of like, I tend to be a type of person that likes to put the carriage before the horse. It's like I want things to happen right now. But really, building your brand by doing a really good book, getting it done on time and shipped out to everybody so that everybody's happy and satisfied, then you build their trust, right? As a producer, you build their trust that you can go in and start pushing your brand a little bit harder. So now it's not just about the product, but it's also the brand that's producing the product. But I've got to produce the product first, I think, to really push the brand hard. And then I can, branch out and do some crazy things or some fun, different things that maybe I wouldn't be as successful with out of the gate, like t-shirts and hats and things like that, or, your medallion. But the medallion seems to me that's something that's a little bit more involved than I'm prepared to deal with right now at this stage. Because I did think about that as well, that, that'd be cool to have the medallion. But although if things really do well, which of course we're all hoping they do, right? But that's something I could add on later, and I might. If this campaign were to get over $100,000, that would be something that I would seriously look at doing. But the funny thing is that even if you see these campaigns that hit at 100 grand or whatever, yeah, you're money ahead at that point, but not as much as you would think, because of the platform fees, the printing costs, and your mailing costs are also factored into the total you see. So you start subtracting, up to, could be 20% of the money you've made that's going to, platform fees and things that are already, so it's not profit, a pure profit in that sense. So, oops. Well, just imagine if that was green. It is green, but you can't really tell. All right, I'm going with a little bit of yellow into the highlight, as who was it that suggested that? Christopher Blaylock Fine Art did. And the dog's barking. So what's worse, the dog barking or the bot? They're both incredibly annoying. So excuse me while I shut the door. Oh my goodness. Well, Christopher, I'll tip my hat to you, man. It does, this yellow, it's adding a nice little touch to it. You can see it a little bit in there where it warmed up those spots. Nice. Good call, man. Just using it like a highlight. No, you can't hate on the dog. We love the dog. He's highly entertaining. He really is. But my goodness, See, loud and annoying sometimes. And he's not really vicious, you know. He barks, but he doesn't bite. So, you know, if someone broke into the house, he would be like an alarm going off, but he wouldn't like a German Shepherd or something would attack, and protect the family. I mean, he would attack, but he doesn't, like I said, he's not really a biter. He's just kind of a barker. Let me take a quick aside here real quickly and see if I can verify our launch time tomorrow. Not yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. I have a good story the first time I met Walter Simonson. It was after San Diego. It was a Sunday after the show had closed. We were, been closed for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. And back then they weren't, in such a rush to get rid of everybody immediately. It's like right now, it's like when the show's over at San Diego, they got union guys pulling up carpet, before you're even halfway out the door. And back then we kind of wandered around quite a bit and sort of hung out. No one was in a big hurry. And so back in Artist Alley, where I was at, was walking around with someone. I don't remember who it was. And this guy comes walking by and he's got this really cool dinosaur t-shirt on. So I said, "Hey man, cool shirt." And he stops, he looks at me, he says, "Thanks. I drew it." And I looked at it and it was Walter Simonson wearing a dinosaur shirt that he'd actually drawn. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're Walt Simonson." And so and he sat there and talked with us for a good long while, which I thought was really cool since he didn't know me from Adam, as the old saying goes. Of course, then I reconnected with him and Wheezy a few years later at a Seattle show where we actually went out to dinner, and then kept in touch after that and became friends. So I do have some nice, pleasant stories about some people that I've met. I'm going to go, I don't know, maybe call me crazy, but I'm going to go in with a little bit of marker here. This is like a C2, just to put a little bit of gray in there. And see, again, look how light that's drawing. It went on there dark, but it dries really, really light. So it's not quite as prominent as it initially looked when I put it on there. Now, of course, I run the risk of ruining the tip now because I'm going over the top of colored pencils with a marker, and it picks up those colored pencils and sort of clogs your tip. So, but it actually kind of smooths out the colored pencil a little bit too. And you can buy extra tips, which I've done. The problem with using colored pencils to color these is it's just can be really, really time consuming. But it looks nice. So, you know, you just have to price your sketches and stuff accordingly, you know, to the amount of work you're doing. And of course, doing this on brown paper, even though I'm using gray marker, it still looks like warm gray. That's why I'm going to hit this with a purple and blue combo. Well, the blue, you should be able to, blue and purple, I think reads pretty well on this. And again, I'm sort of cross-hatching my lines with the colored pencil. Going with our little homemade smudging tool, also known as toilet paper. Well, this She-Hulk exists in my world. Let's see. Walt Simonson said in Facebook post once that it's racist to only married white if you're white when referring to Sweden's marriage statistic. After that, I unfollowed that racist. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that means. Said in Facebook post that it's racist to only married white if you're white men referring to Sweden's marriage statistic. Oh, my dog started getting your chihuahua. See, it's always the little dogs that bark You know, the ones that really can't do anything are the loudest, right? Thank you, Christopher. Man, I Live in Style, my favorite seed. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, he offered it to. I talked to him this morning. He offered it, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if I have to postpone, I will. I really wanted to get this campaign launched this week, though, because I don't want to lose the summer. But you know, again, the success of so many of these campaigns are all in promotion. And so I don't want to launch this book without, as you know, or I want to launch this book with as much steam as possible. So it has the best chance to succeed. Because that's the thing with these campaigns is they have to open, you have to open good. You know, if you open bad, there's very little chance that you're going to be able to make that up, you know, and get momentum going again. I'm sure it's possible that some of these can grow by word of mouth, but they tend to, it seems to me, do better when they launch really strong and then they ride that wave of momentum. So, and I think I've got some hype and momentum behind the project, but you know, there's a difference between me doing a live stream and, you know, getting a few hundred views as opposed to, you know, Ethan doing a live stream and getting, you know, over 1,000 people watching on a single, you know, live stream. So he definitely has the power of the people behind him. And he deserves it. I mean, he took the most heat, you know, for going off on his own and, you know, being somewhat of a political activist as much as you can be in the comic book industry. You know, so he took a lot of slings and arrows along the way. So I don't begrudge him any of his success. I almost gave her blue eyes and said, that doesn't make any sense. She-Hulk would not have blue eyes. She would have green eyes. Okay, so let's take some. So you can see what's happening there a little bit closer. At least you can get the tonal values. You're not picking up 100% of the color. I always like to put some kind of loose wild hairs in here, so it looks a little bit more like hair and not like this big mass of color. It has a little bit of wispiness to it. Honestly, though, 90% of this is always in the face. You know, if you can get your pretty girl face working, that goes so far into carrying the drawing. I posted something on Instagram. I posted that Medusa on Instagram yesterday. And somebody somebody came on and their comment was not very pretty. And I thought to myself, again, kind of like the bot thing earlier today, it's like, who wastes their time just being rude? You know, I mean, plenty of people do, obviously, but it's like, to what end? I mean, how sorry of an individual are you that, you know, that's, you know, how you get attention, or that's how you respond to people. I mean, if you don't like somebody's drawing or something, just don't comment on it, you know, but to go out of your way to say something, you know, rude or whatever, just for the sake of doing it, it's just I never really understood the thinking behind that. I know Joe Jusko has a guy that does that, trolls him quite a bit, and it's just like, seriously? I mean, I know when you put stuff out there on the internet or any place, really, you're opening yourself up for criticism, and that's fine. You know, you got to take it. I'm not, you know, if someone posts something negative about my artwork or something, it's not like I sit up at night and cry. But I do get frustrated with just the lack of etiquette that so many people just do not have a clue on how to behave publicly or on the internet, you know, that somehow hiding behind a computer screen empowers them to be a-holes. And it's like, you know, why would that be your default setting, you know? But sadly, it is for a lot of people. So anyway, the guy posted, not very pretty. And I just said, thanks, with a question mark. You know, it's kind of like, and I went and checked, and he had like, you know, he had 0 followers and was following 26 people. And, you know, it was just like one of those really small accounts that, just annoying. Just annoying. Yeah, that's the truth. Keyboard tough guys. But it's just like, again, I mean, I don't know. When I was a kid, I might have, you know, been rude and, you know, made fun of somebody or something when I shouldn't have. But when you're an adult, it's like, dude, seriously. All righty. I think all things considered, this ain't too shabby. I gotta find my David Williams Presto. See, there's Roscoe, giving credit where credit's due. Thanks a lot for raising me right. I did my best, Roscoe. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not someone that wants to, what's he think? Yeah, exactly. I'm not someone that, you know, doesn't think people should have a forum to say, you know, even if they want to say stupid things, because I think as soon as you start restricting speech, even speech you don't like, eventually you're going to be the one that's getting restricted, right? So, because there's always going to be someone who doesn't like what you have to say. So you can't really use that as a criteria, but it's still as annoying when, you know, I mean, because to me, there is proper channels of etiquette and, you know. I'm often amazed at just the lack of, you know, functional social skills that some people have. I love this glossy little white pen. I think it's running out of ink though. I have to get another one. I have been using it quite a bit. Alrighty, I think that's pretty good. Good enough to sign anyway. Of course, now my autofocus is coming on and messing me up. Get rid of that. All right, so let's take a look. Let me see if I can get some without. There we go. See, to me, that's the She-Hulk, right? She's still pretty, but she's powerful. I mean, obviously, you don't want to mess with her, but I'm going to put a little highlight right on her nose. You don't want to mess with her. And, but yeah, it's still like, you know, attractive. So what's wrong with that? Well, that's an interesting, that's an interesting question. I'm constantly, and have been for years, in experimentation mode where I'm trying to figure out what I could do to make my stuff more commercial, more sellable, more interesting. So it's not, I don't know that I've consciously, well, that's not true. I mean, I've consciously made choices to improve my artwork, but I've taken it in different directions in a lot of different ways. So, you know, influences, looking at guys like contemporary guys like, Adam Hughes or Kevin Nolan or Dale Keown or Travis Charest. And those aren't guys I necessarily try to make my stuff look like, but you look at what they're doing and try to figure out, well, gosh, he's doing this and this, why does this stuff look so cool? And then you kind of maybe try to take some stuff and, you add it to what you're doing. And then it just keeps evolving. Right. And so I think that's part of the process. You see other people being successful in doing what they're doing, and you think, I want mine to have that sort of success. I want my art to have that sort of appeal, mass appeal, right? And so you try and develop something that you think fits into that category that'll draw that attention to your work. And so, I have times where I think, oh, it'd be really cool if I did really cartoony stuff. And then it's like, oh, no, if I did something really realistic, or, what if I did something really stylized, or, I'm constantly going back and forth with that. But trying to evolve my work without going so far in one direction or another that you don't recognize it. It has to be a gradual thing, because you don't want to lose you spend, in my case, 30 years, right, building up, I guess, a fan base or people that support your work. I don't like to use fan that much, because I don't want people to be insulted by that term. I prefer to I prefer to refer to people as like readers, or I consider myself a fan, but of stuff, but I don't necessarily like to use that on other people as a descriptor. But people that appreciate your work, follow your work, readers, whatever, you spend 30 years cultivating that audience, and they have a certain expectation from you. So you don't want to go too far left or right in just one fell swoop and go, suddenly I've changed. Even like Sienkiewicz, I think a little bit sort of had this gradual, changing of how his approach. He went from being sort of a Neil Adams clone to a guy that's almost a fine artist working in comics. And I think you can do that and get away with it, if you just don't maybe just slap everybody in the face with this drastic style change, because you want to bring the people with you that you've cultivated, but you also want to bring in a new audience, right? So how do you do that? You gradually evolve into something that, has more of a mass appeal. And so that's what I'm always trying to do. That's a really long-winded answer to probably a very simple question. No, I don't really have a style that appeals to the European publishing market for some reason. I think Terry does. Mine is more of an Americanized look, I think. Hey, look at that. Brohawk comes in and gives me the compliments. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, D. Jones. Appreciate that. Adam Ross. I'm back. Yeah, just I'm about ready to close the stream. K Manifesto is plugging my Wraith of God, which is not in the description right now. But like I said, I'm hopeful that tomorrow night's the big night. We'll see. Because someone did point out a fact that is true. Ethan's been feeling a little bit under the weather, so I don't know. But like I said, he's the one who brought it up to me, so I'm going to assume that we're going to go forward with it, but we'll see. There may be a better idea of how that green looks. So that's a little bit more accurate there. It's still more green than what you're seeing on the screen here. Yeah. There's going to be a tier for the you get a copy of Wraith of God and a copy of Garbage Man trade paperback. So yeah, that will be an option. Or it's also going to be an add-on. Sort of say you just maybe, because I can't tier everything, right? Like I can't, like I have a tier for each three of the individual covers, but then they each have their own cover tier, but then I have one that is all three, a tier of all three together, right? And when I offer Garbage Man, I can't say, here's a tier for Garbage Man and cover A, Garbage Man cover B, Garbage Man cover C. So I only offer one tier, which is Garbage Man cover A with the Garbage Man trade paperback. But then you have the option of adding on one of the other covers, or the option of just getting two covers and maybe adding Garbage Man on as you check out. So there's like, it's really tough to kind of, you can't put everything in a tier because you'd have like 40 tiers, right? And it just would be like too confusing. So I have put a lot of individual items as add-ons that you can get on your way out the door, so to speak, if you just wanted to get the comic. And, if you wanted Terry's cover, for example, but you wanted Garbage Man trade, that's not a tier, but you can put that together yourself in the checkout when you're checking out. So there's options. Hopefully there's options to meet everybody's needs. I didn't know that, but the Wraith of God brings death to those who are evil, so it would work out cool. Yeah, it's done. It's really kind of fun. I mean, it's obnoxious on one hand, but it's also kind of fun and makes the things a little bit electric. So I don't mind using it on these. No, that's totally fine. You can give your money to me. I'm more than happy to take it. So, um, well, let's take a look at that trailer one more time before I head out here, since it's paid good money for it. And there it is. Also remember that if you sign up, go to the Indiegogo page and sign up before the campaign goes live, you get one of these when you order. And that's the only way you get one of these, is when you have to sign up early, and then you have to order a book, obviously, to get one of these cards. If you don't sign up early, you can't get that card. And that card art was made specifically for that card, so you can't get it anyplace else. So there you have it. What about it's just dropping in as we're dropping out? Thanks for joining us, though. Can we get an Esther card? That's the 5 of diamonds. Those playing cards are freaking expensive. They're like 3 times the cost of the trading cards. So I'm only doing the one trading card if we hit the stretch goal. But there will be an Esther card as part of the stretch goal. But it'll be something that'll match that limited Wraith of God card for early signups. Again, we're supposed to go live tomorrow. If that I'll keep posting about it all through the day and tomorrow on social media. If it changes, I will let you know. I'll probably come on early tomorrow with a live stream to kind of address where we're at on that as well. So again, thank you all for joining me. I'm losing my voice. I can't imagine what I'm going to be like by the end of this week. But thank you for coming in. We couldn't do this without you. Sorry about the bot fiasco. Hopefully that won't happen again. And I'll be a little bit more equipped to handle it next time. So anyway, thank you. And